I don't think it's going to work.
No?
No. How you doing, everyone? DJ Matty F here. I just feel that I need to give some context behind today's special edition of the podcast that we've got for you. This podcast, this was the second recording. The first one we did, we lost all audio when recording. So it was almost an hour and 45 minutes worth of recording that unfortunately was placed in the bin because we didn't have the audio. These things happen. So we got back into the recording studio, my bedroom in the hotel, and we then re-recorded. By this time there had been a few drinks that had been consumed. Answers on a postcard, who you think that may be. Put that in the polls, but I hope you enjoy this special edition of the Groove Junction with me, DJ Matty F, DJ John Colley, DJ 247 and DJ Funky T.
The Groove Junction Rundown is sponsored by Pro Mobile Magazine, the magazine that's got it all. It's a game changer. They don't just do surface-level reviews, they dive deep with real practical insights. And the interviews? They feature some heavy hitters sharing seriously valuable advice. But it's not just about DJ gear. They cover everything. Marketing techniques, and even the latest tech trends like AI, which is super relevant right now. Honestly, if you're serious about your DJ career, you need to check them out. And here's the best part, we've got an exclusive deal just for the Groove Junction listeners. You can subscribe right now by searching Pro Mobile Magazine and hitting the subscribe button. Just use our special code, GroovePMSUB, for a 25% discount on your first year's subscription, which is 6 magazines delivered to your door. That's Pro Mobile Magazine. Don't miss out.
Welcome to this special edition of the Groove Junction. We are deep in the New Forest. We're in a hotel room. We're in a hotel room, my hotel room.
Don't leave me hanging.
All right. Physically, we're together. Not, all the married side of things.
Even though we're in a hotel
physically,
room.
we're here together. We're at the Pro Mobile Focus and Retreat this weekend, and we've got some special guests for a very, very special podcast, which we've been meaning to do to get everyone in the room, and we've got them in the room. Please give it up for our special guest today, DJ TJ Hater, the Diary of the DJ, and also DJ 247.
I love that. Love it. How you doing, guys? Thank you for dropping in.
Thanks, guys. We're going to get straight into it. I would class you two in particular as the big hitters in that social media side of things. You've got your Instagram, your TikToks, your YouTube channels. So there's loads of stuff that we're doing in that social media side of things. And we have talked on the Groove Junction for weeks about content, social media. I'm going to throw it out there. Social media, where do we sit? Where do we stand? What is it all about for you guys? 2-4.
Something that you've probably heard me say a lot of the time before when it comes to social media. Consistency, man. You guys see with me, quite consistent with what I put out, and the amount of videos that I put out. And I know, like, some people might be like, it's a lot to do. It is. It's not easy to do. Consistent content and things of that nature. It's a lot of time, a lot of investment. But the main thing that I would say to anyone who's trying to do things on social media is consistency and also quality. And when I say quality, I say about more so posting things that are going to help your business. You don't want to post things that are not going to help in your business, because then that will confuse clients and people watching.
Yeah.
So if you're consistent and you post things that are about your business, that can definitely help anybody. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to social media and posting and things of that nature.
TJ, very successful YouTube channel and Instagram and TikTok. Where is your priority in relation to your social media content?
At the moment, Instagram.
Okay.
Because Instagram is what brings in the bookings.
Okay.
TikTok, I do get a few bookings from TikTok, but Instagram's where it's at. I think a consistent spread across all platforms is key.
Consistency in time, isn't it? I mean, it takes a long time. I mean, that's one of the things that that I've noticed. Myself and Matty were in Liverpool last week, and he had taken a load of video footage of setting up the venue and this and the other, and then we went for a cheeky little drink, and he managed to sort of like put together a reel with like captions and everything within 5-10 minutes. it takes me half an hour to edit a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds video. I'm terrible at it,
Mhm.
you know. But you guys seem to like, you know, even Matty as well. You know, you guys like, you know what you're doing.
This is another thing. Like I said, it does take time. So from on the outside perspective, I know some people think, they're not smashing it. You know, like I wish I could do that. You know, but it's a lot of time. Like I schedule posts. I have a mind that's sort of thinking about what content can I get from this event. Like my mind's always like there's a back end of my mind thinking about what can I create, what will my viewers like to see. You know, how can I educate? How can I share information, or how can I help my clients? How can I show them kind of what I do and how I sell my service? So my mind's always switched on in that sense, and there's a lot of work that goes behind it, like to stay consistent. It is not easy, but once you start to get into a bit of a flow of things, it definitely does help out in that sense.
I know in previous videos you've said that, you know, when you're at a gig, you know, you're standing behind your controller, you're behind it, and you're taking 6 to 10 second videos of this, that, and the other. I mean, and you're constantly always filming, whether you're doing it yourself or whether you've got someone doing it for you. You know, and I think like what you're saying with the consistency, but you got to have the material to do that. Surely, you know what I mean? But your phone is jam packed.
Literally, I'm not gonna lie. Even yesterday, I spent last night. I've got I don't know if it's a 256 or 512. But I'm at my max, and I was thinking, oh Jesus! And I was thinking of myself,
what do I delete?
No, actually, it's a 512 because I think the next one's a TB, and I was like, should I get an upgrade and get a TB? But then I said to myself, no, you're not using enough of your content. If you've got like me, I've got 500 gigs worth of content. Well, not, you know, it's apps. So let's say like 3 gigs,
storage,
something like that. And then I'm like, no, that means that you're not putting out enough of what you've got. So you're collecting loads and you're not putting out enough. Don't get me wrong, my kids are in there as well. My kids are a massive part of, you know, my life and stuff. So they take up a lot of that space, and I can't delete that stuff.
You can't delete them.
I can't. Like I look at the video, and I'm like, I'm not deleting that for
Nah,
nothing.
mate, you're
Do you
right,
know what I mean? So I've gone in there and I've deleted a lot of old stuff to free up some space. But there's that element of it. But that then makes it easy for me to be consistent. There's always something there for me to look and find and post.
I think one of the things as well with the creator content. Now, TJ, I know you do a lot of reviews, but I also know you're a bit of a tech guru, if you like, with the gadgetry that you have. I mean,
nice.
He's always got a gadget, hasn't he? Let's be honest, he's always got a gadget. But I mean,
it made me buy a gadget earlier, and I only walked in the building. Within 5 minutes, I got my hand in my pocket and the old credit cards out.
Go. So I mean, you use a number of different gadgets to film your content. I mean, you've got is it an Osmo that you've got? You've got a 360.
Yep.
You've got the new 360 battery thingy, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
You've got a phone. You've got all these. I use my phone. That's it. That's all I got. Just my phone.
Do you know what? There's something to be said if using the phone. It's simple, easy, and an iPhone has got great. Well, it's just got a great camera.
Yeah, 100%.
And why would you need additional cameras, additional microphones, additional battery? But unless you're a tech head, I don't think you would get it. But yeah, I would say stick to
just a phone. I mean, you don't need to go and spend hundreds of pounds on
like me.
Like different cameras and this, that, and the other. You could just literally just pull out your phone and you can get some content. And there's apps out there that improve the quality of the footage, anyway, isn't there? I mean, you've got CapCut, there's loads as well.
There's loads of different editing software.
Using your iPhone and just uploading the footage.
Just like that.
Great.
That's enough.
That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what you stand for.
That's what I stand for. Like, if you look at my content, like I get short reels, and the reels I don't cut. I look for one video. It might be 40 seconds. I'm like, yep, that's enough. No edit. The reason why I do no edit, because that's what makes me be consistent. If I'm editing, cutting there, chopping there, it's long.
Takes too long.
Hook, captions, shortcut, best part, done.
Yeah.
Keep it consistent. Well, that's what's worked for me. I have to keep saying that's what everything I speak about on my Instagram, everything I talk about, I've done. I never talk about ideas or things. And if I do, I'll mention it. But everything I do because it works for me. And I know that might not.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the question: how many people reach out to you and go, "Tell me what the magic key is"? I need
loads.
Yeah, go on.
Loads. Like loads will be like, "What is it?" And the main thing I keep saying is what I said at the start: consistency. Like, I'll always say to some DJs, I go on their posts and they're like, "Oh, you know, how do you do what you're doing?" The first thing I'll do is go look at what they're currently doing. And I'm like, mate, you're posting twice a month. The things that you're putting out, they're not like you've got to try and think of this is the reason why on your podcast, well, on past episodes I was talking about the 30-day challenge.
Yeah.
One of the main things about the 30-day challenge is one, for you to understand what your viewers want from you, and you'll see that within your interactions and your statistics, and your analytics will show you that. Two is about getting out the mindset of like, people don't care, just post it, because I know like people don't care, and when I say people, the people I'm thinking about is the people that are not going to book me. They don't care, of course they don't care. They're not. The people that are going to book me care.
Yeah.
They want to see what they want to see. The people that are going to put money in my pocket and support me and my family, they care. So it's the ones that you should care about. But
That's right.
don't worry about them and not care in that sense. But then the last one is how it's not easy. So some people look at me and say, "Oh man, I wanna." And I'm saying, if you want to do this, you need to be like serious. I looked at my stats the other day. In the last 30 days, I've posted 161 times, and that includes reels, posts, shares, anything. So not all of it is just posts.
No.
Out of the posts, you might look at, let's say, I don't know, 15 to 20 posts, reels.
Yeah.
One or two pictures, which I don't really recommend if you're trying to get reach. Pictures don't get reach. Stories, I'm hellbent on. I like to behind the scenes. I look up everything. But that auto calculates to 161 posts over the 30 days. So that's intense, but it's because I've got a different way of doing things. But yeah, with the 30-day challenge, I want people to see that it's not easy. So when you do the 30-day challenge, you'll see there's a low chance anyone doing that will tick all 30 days, because you're going to miss something here and there. And that's what I want people to see. So when people are like, oh, how do you do it? What's the magic sauce? I'm like, I haven't got a magic sauce.
There's no magic
work.
button.
No.
It's what you're seeing is work rate.
So you can teach 2-4. You're just saying there that the posts you're putting out, you're not putting them out to us DJs because we're not going to book you.
No.
You know, you're putting it out to the general public, if you like. You know, how do you get? TJ, it's the same question to you. How do you get that reel, that story, that post? How do you get it to them people to see? How do you get it? How do they see it to the public, not the DJs, not the people that are already following you?
They see it anyway.
Yeah, but
So it doesn't matter. No, but it doesn't matter. You put out the behind the scenes footage and it's aimed at DJs. The general public see it anyway, and they appreciate.
I think they warm to it more.
Value.
Yeah.
I think they warm to it.
Yeah.
They see that, and they
you're
see the
human.
work rate. They see what you're doing. Like, they get to see more than they do from another DJ. So
They appreciate the value, and they go, "Oh, okay, this is an authority in this field.
yes,
We would be blessed to book
to
that."
book that person. Like, for instance, a lot of rules I put is about beat matching.
Mhm.
So I've mentioned a lot of talk about, DJs should be.
There's a lot of heat you get
I
about
get
that.
a lot of heat from it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
once again, I say to any DJ or anyone booking, beat matching is something 101. When I first started DJing, if you didn't beat match, you wasn't coming from the clubs. If you didn't beat match,
Yeah.
you could never get booked. You will never be on anything. So beat matching is key. And I get kickback from it. And a lot of them are wedding DJs or maybe older DJs or people that have a different mindset. But I get clients in the meeting that will be like, I love your video on the beat match. And I'm like, that really wasn't for clients. That was more for DJs, because my content is split. I do content that's targeted to DJs that clients still kind of like, oh, I don't mind that. And I do content that's wired to clients that DJs look at and say, oh, he knows what he's doing. I can see he's doing it. So it serves both sides. But I love it when a client will say, I love that video on beat matching. Like when I was going out, when me and my missus went out, we went to see this DJ, that DJ, and they're talking about headliners. They're all beat match, like Fisher, DJs, festivals. And I'm like, yeah, of course they mix. You cannot survive if you don't. So when they see that, they're like, that's why we've called you, because we know we're getting a blended, all of our, it's going to be, it's not start and stop. Some people have been to
drop the style, drop.
Yeah, the vibe doesn't really never get to 110. It only can get to like maybe 60, 70. Some DJs have mentioned in the comments that they've found a way of doing it. And, if that's what they're doing, then, all the best to them. The one thing I did say in one comment is, one comment did come in, and he was talking about the dancehall community. And in the dancehall community, they've got something called a DJ and a selector, and sometimes you've got one in the both.
Yeah.
So the DJ will play the song and the selector will pick the song. And sometimes the DJ might not have the technical ability, but he might have the microphone energy. So he knows how to hype the crowd on the mic. The selector will give him the track. He'll play the track. He'll say something, introduce
And
it,
he drops
drop
it.
and it gets a massive reaction. So he's not technically beat matching. But I'm like, no, but you can see there's a selector, there's a DJ, there's a host. This is more of a collective.
It's a package, because you're working from the crowd in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So mic interaction, I'm like, that's not in the same conversation.
Yeah.
But as a solo DJ, when you play, you're going to play 5 songs. Are you going to mix them all, or are you going to stop and start them all?
Yeah.
In terms of energy, from what I've experienced, when you mix them, you're going to get a better energy than if you just play that. And even if the next tunes are big, that it's a great song, I play great selection, but people are like, bruv, that's the last tune I was on for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. We've lost the energy.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to do the next one 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Then the next one 3 minutes. I'm in a smoking area. I'm talking to my mates. Yeah, they're good tunes, but
I'm done.
the energy.
I
falls.
like beat matching, and then you give them a little teaser of what's coming in about a minute's time.
Yeah.
You just drop a little couple of bars in, and
you get reaction.
Oh no, where is it? And then when it comes in,
bosh,
there you go. So there you go. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a question around the content side of things for anybody that's coming new into DJing or anyone that's doing content.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about hashtags. Do you use hashtags? How many do you use? Do you use 1, 10, 22? What's your number?
Okay, so I thought, do you want to jump on it? What's your thoughts on?
Go on. TJ, what's your thoughts on hashtagging?
Come on, TJ, jump in. Let us know.
I used to use a lot of hashtags. I don't use as many these days.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtags are not as relevant as they were before. I used to have a system in place where I'd use 20, maybe more per post.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily use same amount.
Same amount of hashtags, yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 per post. I don't think hashtags are as relevant these days.
No, I agree with you. I think same, back especially on Instagram, I used to use the copy and paste style and whatnot.
Yeah.
I used to have like these ones are working for me, so keep using those. But now, and I think it was more since TikTok. When I started using a lot of TikTok, that changed my mindset. A lot of my ideas and stuff come from TikTok. The whole not caring, and that comes from definitely TikTok. Because Instagram, people are always polished, it's polished. I'm like, no, it's content. It's not polished. Like when I've done polished, I look at the views. I'm like, then I do raw. And Raw does much better, just like TikTok.
Yeah.
And TikTok, I was, speaking to gurus and people that understand it a bit more than I do, and they mentioned that less, maximum 5 to 7. That was that one.
5 to 7 hashtags.
5 to 7 on TikTok, and then 3 to 4 on Instagram. But now what I've realized is that I think when you use like captions, if you use in-app captions, the app can pick up on what you're saying, and they drive the content.
So don't use captions on a software like CapCut or something. Use the editing within the actual application, whether it's Instagram or TikTok.
Yes. Once again, this isn't confirmed information.
No.
But this is just the formula I've used. So I'll get the raw video. I might edit in CapCut. But when I pull it out, I won't put the captions on. And on Instagram, add captions. On TikTok, add captions.
So if you're posted on Instagram, that video that you've just created on CapCut, you're using the captions from Instagram.
Yes.
Okay.
Because then hopefully Instagram know exactly what I said in that video start to end, and they can think about
where it
using
goes,
the algorithm, who would benefit from this.
Okay. So in a way, you think that the captions is kind of going to replace the hashtags, maybe?
I think so. And I think there's technology already there that we don't know. Like when we're speaking, when we're filming, it's picking up on what it is that you've done. And then it will say, okay, I think these people are going to kind of like it. And obviously that you've got your own following anyway. So they'll engage it first, and then, they'll pass it on to others. And so that's kind of what I think. Once again, I don't know if that's fact, but that's what I think. Less hashtags. And I like to put captions. I know that there's a percentage of people that listen to things on silent. Yeah. There's some people that can't, hear. If you've got like a hearing disability or anything like that, then I can still, market to those people.
Alienating
I'm not alienating anyone in that sense. And even like my missus, so when she's out and about, if she's on the train and she hasn't got headphones in, she'll watch Instagram and only look at caption videos. Yeah. And she's told me that directly. So then I'm like, okay, well, at least I know if I put up she will know, I can read all your stuff. 90% of the stuff I put out, it's got captions on.
So you're saying that, some of your polished work, you get a couple 100 views, maybe. Yeah. But then your raw stuff, you're hitting it big.
Yeah.
And what I like about a lot of, a few of your videos that I've seen, is that you don't just show the good stuff. You don't just show the buzzing, popping dance floor. You show the times where the dance floor's empty. Yeah. You show all of that.
Yeah.
And that, in a way, is quite a gutsy move.
Mm-hmm.
Because the customer's going to give it when his dance floor's empty.
Well, this is, some people would say that. And I would say it's not, because I've put out so much content where I'm confident in what I do. And even in that video with the dance floor, I say to them, I'm going to get it to where it needs to be. And I don't post that last bit because I like to leave cliffhangers. It's another
get them to come back.
Didn't get one, but I then leave it, and I don't get them to come back, and I don't put the end night. But even there's been times when the client will message and they'll be like, I didn't even see that part of my night. That's my night. I can see that's my venue for my event. I only saw it fully, and I'm like, I know. this is just a message for, especially some of the younger DJs or people that post and they're thinking, oh man, it's not where it needs to be. It's not. And then once again, I'm like, you're overthinking some of that stuff. So, yeah, I put out the good, the bad, and the ugly because I'm not ashamed or with anything that I do, and I'm quite confident that I'll still be able to get the party to where it needs to be.
So another question, like to both of you, do you find that when you stick your camera up, whether it be your camera or your phone or whatever, at the crowd and you're taking footage, do you feel that do they play up to the camera even more than what you think? You get your camera, I'm going to record.
No.
This is great.
Mm-hmm.
They are they the
I
same?
don't think so.
No,
Do you?
No.
I don't think anybody plays up to anything.
no. They are what they
I
are.
think 2025 is accepted. People are going to put
People are
the
gonna
phone
film.
up.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody plays up genuinely.
Love that.
Only when a videographer gets in front of me and I'm playing up all day long.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
listening over there about that because some people are like, yeah, the DJ when the camera comes to them and you feel a bit. No, I was on was it Christian?
Yeah,
Was it
Jack Christian, we had on.
Christian, he was
Hey,
talking about-
before he
and
was
that's
like quite nervous about it.
that's actually a good point, but I'm the opposite, and I think
So am I. I'm exactly the same. Bring
when I
the
see that
camera on.
I'm like, let's go. Like this is.
Let's do it.
Let me give you some energy. Let me give you something great to send.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel I resonate with what Jack's saying. I do feel a little bit nervous when a videographer, when somebody professional puts a camera in my face.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Do you?
Mm.
Yeah, I do. Whereas I think that's because there's an expecting of me to perform.
Yes.
Mm.
Whereas if I'm just putting a phone up or a camera up at the peak of the night at 11 p.m. and everybody's having a good night, I don't think they care.
No, they don't care.
I think they're
At that
just having
time.
a good time.
Yeah.
Whereas when you got a professional videographer or photographer pointing a camera at you as a DJ, you know, it's
Yeah.
DJ pros on.
Yeah.
When they say, can you do something on the decks like
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
let me show you that.
yeah,
Oh, let me
mix,
play the
mix,
knobs.
mate.
Play the knobs.
Yeah.
Play the knobs.
yeah,
They're filming.
It's
Look
pathetic.
busy. Look busy.
Look busy.
Look busy. That's it.
Busy.
But yeah, I do feel a little bit like pressure in that situation. I do. I try and brush it off and whatever, but I do. I feel like I can resonate with that, and even that people probably wouldn't expect me to say that because all the content I put out there. But yeah, I feel that, and I think that's why there's a massive point on trying to capture when you're vlogging and when you're trying to capture footage, trying to capture real moments, and people can resonate with vlogs and videography when it's real. Because
Yeah,
the
I
camera
agree.
is plugged in. You put this persona on, or
Yeah.
you put this,
You kind of play up to that camera. You say,
and that's
you know?
fake.
Yeah.
You've done that pose a few times, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, for a few cameras. Wow.
You might even have headphones on. You still do.
Yeah. So so that's the content side of things. Equipment then. What we got? Are we looking at anything new, the two of you, in relation to your setups and your equipment you got?
At the moment, the main thing I'm looking at, like one of the things I'm trying to focus on this year is efficiency and trying to save time, trying to set up faster, break down faster, those types of things. And if some of you lot seen some of my rigs, I've got like basically two main setups. So I've got like my LD15s, which are heavy. They're heavy. They come on gravity stands, which are once again they're heavy. The plates are like 30 kg. The poles like 10 kg. The other speaker it's on like a 30. So it's a lot of weight. It's a lug. So I'm
Gun
like,
shows coming out.
literally, or either that or the
Sweet DJ
sweat, just
system.
pulling it in. Yeah, well, yeah, I've got a DJ system, which is definitely helps. But still, once again, even when he's done, I'm like time. And then I've got my other white setup, which is 18s and 15s, so 18 bottoms and 15 tops, massive sound. Which I don't really get to really push because I just like big sound because my club background. But where I'm doing it for a while, I'm like I don't need all that much power. Maybe I can start looking at some column arrays, and so I'm partnering up at the moment with JBL. They've been kind enough to send me some PRX ones, which is their column array range, which is I've used it so far once. You're going to see a couple more videos in the weeks and months coming ahead. But using that, like sub down, mid pole, top, done. One XLR, one IEC, boom. When before I would do, if it's the 15s, gravity stand, plate, cables, and I like to cable management.
Absolutely.
Everything's looking neat and sexy. And with the EVs, it's even more. So you've got two XLR IEC top 2LR, XLR IC bottom. It's a lot of cables, it's a lot of outputs, and with that one, it just makes it so much.
So from the one gig you did with them, how many people were in the room?
I'll say about 70 to 80 people.
Okay.
So not bad.
Not huge.
The JBLs you've used, what are they aimed at?
I think they're aimed at mobile performance. So when I went
Yeah.
on their website, go on, sorry.
The amount of people in the room.
I don't know if there's a statement on there that says this will cover this much. But listening to them on that day, I think I could easily do 100 people because I was at 80 and it was sounding good. The bass on them sounds really nice.
Nice.
And I did see a video talking about they was comparing them to the LD, which I'm a big fan of the LDs.
We both.
Yeah. And but the bass on them is very warm, very like, oh, right. You know when you look down at them and you're
like surprised.
yeah, they're
like
putting out.
Where did that come?
Where did that come from? Yeah, right. And they give out a good level of that digital display. It's got 7 channels input, which for me is amazing. Like I said, I've got two normal sound setups. They've only got 2 inputs, and there's no mixers capability. It's got a few like volume and some capabilities, but this one's got echo, trims, gains. You've got
reverb. It's amazing
So
if you're
it
working
is.
with another saxophonist or anybody else, and you can just say, "Yeah, plug into my."
Yeah,
You haven't got to like worry about them plugging into
a mixer. Yeah.
Just say-
Just
but-
go to the back, pick which one you want.
Yeah,
go for
pick
it, mate.
Really?
Pick a channel. You've got your volume. If you want to go in, I can do the settings. If you want, they've got an app as well, which you could use. The app is quite cool.
So you can control the speaker
you
through
can
your app as
control
well.
the speaker. So while he's performing, you could be at the back of the room and be like, "Oh, that's a bit those highs are a
Bit tinny. Let's give him a
Let
little
me
bit
do
more.
that. Let me give him a bit more.
I love
Let me-
that.
Yeah. Stereo sounding. Like they're very. Just use them on that first because I'm still learning. Going forward, I'm thinking, Conor Murray's for the mobile DJ just to save time. If you're doing tops and bottoms, don't get me wrong. From what I've heard, the tops and bottom sound you can't beat. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
The
but
Conor Murray's
do-
sound.
do we need that?
No,
If we're doing 200 people plus, yes.
Yes, that's exactly what
But
I'm
if
saying.
we're doing the average wedding in the UK,
Conor Murray's will get it done. Yeah. So that's my main thing is that, and yeah, man, they've really helped with the efficiency side of things.
TJ, what you got coming? New equipment? Anything?
Not a lot of new equipment. I'm trying to scale it back a bit and watch where I'm spending money. Same as 2-4, I've partnered up with JBL.
Yeah.
Looking at their speakers at the moment. I've not gigged with any of their speakers.
Yeah.
I've got a few and I'm looking at them. Time will tell whether they give what they should or what they can. They look great. When I've unboxed them, they look fantastic.
Yeah.
They're battery powered, which is brilliant.
Okay, battery powered.
Battery powered,
Interesting.
inbuilt mixer, Bluetooth inbuilt. They've got everything. They tick every box.
Literally, yeah.
So
There's one box that I'm going to say that potentially they're not ticking.
send it.
Do they do them in white?
No.
Yeah, this is.
Now, listen,
Do we need it in
everyone,
white?
you guys, all of my setup is white.
Do we need
I've got
it?
everything in white. I am the white person. Like, that's what I want,
Okay.
but they don't do it in white.
Yeah, they don't do it well. No, I don't think they do it at the moment.
And are they going to do it in white?
I don't know.
Do you know what? Having it in white is a big thing in the UK.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah, it is.
I
It's
personally have
attractive.
everything in black, but I fully understand
It's
white,
especially
is
in the
needed.
wedding industry.
Wedding industry is where it's at. That's where everyone spends their money.
Yeah.
That is where it's at, and that is predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm greedy.
So-
I've got a full black setup and a full white setup. I'm greedy.
Speakers as
What
well.
a show off!
The same speakers or different speakers?
No, different speakers. So we've
Okay.
got RCF 715 for the
There we
black,
go.
and then we've got the J8s in white. I'm just saying.
Have you got a white set of J8s?
Yeah, I got a white set of J8s. Yeah.
Bloody show off.
You can see where the money is in this room, can't you?
I ain't got any more money. That's
Go on,
the thing.
Ollie.
Oh, but I just want to circle back.
Oh, hello.
No. Circle
Oh,
back.
corporate.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, circle back. I'll touch base with you in a minute. Oh, you're both partnering up with JBL.
Yeah.
Now, if you get any new piece of equipment, you're going to take out this JBL sound system. Are you apprehensive in any way about performing that gig equipment that you've
Of
never used?
course, John. And do you know what? If you never hear anything from me with JBL again, you know that the equipment hasn't performed.
Wow. That's a
okay.
statement.
Oh,
I'm
well,
good now.
I agree. There's some companies that I think we've both worked with.
We've
and-
both worked with companies before. They've sent us equipment. It's not performed.
It's not performed.
Both me and 2-4 are not about that. Just putting content out there, slagging.
Yeah, yeah, we don't want to do that. Like,
So
if it's
we
not
just
good,
send
we just won't
equipment
say
back and say no, thank you.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Okay.
So, but actually, although I haven't gigged with the JBL equipment yet, I can see that there is a place for it.
Mhm.
It is good equipment, and I think that I am going to enjoy you. So
Okay.
we'll see. I think it's great equipment. It looks lovely. It all slots into one bass bin. It's
very
nice.
mobile.
We'll see what it's like when I gig with it. But
They've thought, like, I think with what you've got, like, they've proper thought about, like, you know, it's Bluetooth, it's wireless, it's battery powered, it's all it contains, all the things drop into the box. Like, it just, like, they see what they thought about. It's got onboard mixer as well.
But that's their mid-range one, isn't there?
Mhm.
There is a higher range one which is a little bit bigger.
I've got a lot
That
of-
doesn't
yeah, they've
slide
got-
into that.
Yeah, so the PRX one doesn't. The PRX one
Is that
comes
the
in.
PRX one?
Yeah,
you got?
yeah. They come in.
Oh, you've got the one, have
PRX
you?
one that doesn't all fall into the.
The
So it's not
column.
battery powered. The one I've got, it's not battery powered. It's
Ah, right.
powered.
Mm.
But it's got the Bluetooth. It's got the
Yeah,
Bluetooth.
okay.
It's got. I like the little USBs. It's got like the 2 little USBs on there, which is.
What is that
That's direct.
USB for?
It's for charging. The only thing I can think of is for charging. your phone.
Charging
Can
something.
you
What else is
literally,
it for?
can you literally get a USB
I think
full of
so.
music and
Use-
plug it in
I
and
think
play it?
so. I think so.
I
I think it's for charging and it's for playing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just supposed
Listen,
to be teaching.
hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You're the one in partnership with JVL. You should be knowing this.
but you see USB in a lot of systems,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you think, can I just plug a USB full of music in and play it? That's pointless because I need to have some sort of control.
Control over
At
it, yeah.
no point am I ever going to plug a USB in and just leave it.
Not as a DJ, no.
No.
Not as a DJ. And even then, like, my USB would be record box synced.
So
It wouldn't
this
just
is-
be audio.
But that's probably designed for a sax player playing background music
There you go.
during
The
the
singer,
meal time.
singer,
Yeah,
like,
the
the,
singer,
plugs it in.
the acoustic tracks.
in.
And, yeah, that's what I
You
think
just
it's
gotta sing
for.
over
Just
the
to make
top
it
of it.
easier for them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No iPad, no
If
nothing.
yeah,
So.
if that is.
Just don't know.
I don't know.
Let's get them on the phone. No, let's not. We'll do that for another time. So that's the new equipment. Any lighting wise?
Well,
No.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Could be a Groove Junction exclusive here, or maybe not.
It might even be a goodie. Depends what comes out.
Oh, could be.
Depends on what he says. Yeah, we saying TJ.
What
I
you saying?
want to say things.
You want to say
In
things?
what?
Something's coming out that I really love,
Okay.
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 and I don't know.
Is it lighting?
You don't know if you're allowed to
It's
say.
lightning.
Okay,
I don't know if
right.
I'm allowed to say,
Well-
but I'll tell
Oh.
you guys off.
We won't.
Okay.
We won't.
Just
push
make
you
sure
on
that
it. We
for
won't
now-
push you on it.
No, we
Just
won't
keep
push
your
it.
eye peeled. That's what.
Keep
we
your eyes
The
peeled.
only bit of kit I'm going to buy.
When are you looking? So
My Chauvet DJ.
He couldn't help himself. He's got to say something. That's all you're getting. I think. I don't.
is this going to be in the summer?
I don't.
You just don't know.
You don't know.
Coming.
So basically,
coming.
Chauvet DJ bringing out a
Good
new
bit of
light.
equipment, and I can't
Okay.
say
All
what
right.
it is.
Watch this
Okay.
space for the diary of the DJ. He's got some new equipment coming. 2-4, you got any lighting or anything? Are you all good with that?
Oh, lighting, I'm keeping very simple, man. I like my uplights and I like my moving heads,
Yeah.
and I'm happy with those. Yeah, there's nothing I'm seeing at the moment where I'm like, oh, like that would really help.
Mhm.
And like I've said before, my mindset is very different. There's always like ROI. What's the ROI on this? And the lighting that I provide, it does what
It does
it
the
should do. The one thing I'm looking at, which I want to quickly mention, is Haze. Like Haze, I want to.
Oh God,
Like
Haze makes a huge
yeah,
difference.
it does, innit? It really does.
My Haze machine spanked in about 3 weeks ago. I need
Just
to buy a new one.
I was
Really?
just
What's
spanked in. I'm just going to translate for our American viewers. It
It no
failed.
longer
Program.
works.
It failed.
No.
It fails.
Beautiful.
I've had it for a few years.
Yeah.
Haze really makes a
It,
difference.
it does.
Massively.
But
Yeah.
the problem is with venues though,
won't
they
let you use
don't. They still won't let you use it.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? I've got to work around with that.
Go on.
Just use it. You just use it, and you wait for them to tell you not to use it.
Crazy.
Okay.
But it's crazy because I do hear what you're saying, TJ, because the ones that we would get, they're water up. They're water. It's Haze.
It's Haze. It's
It's
like
not
someone
smoke.
vaping. It's not smoke.
It's
doesn't
not
set
smoke.
off
It
the
won't
smoke
set
alarm.
off the alarm.
Be
They're so
No.
Cool.
worried.
Just use it
I
a
have.
little bit.
As well, to be fair. Yeah.
We've never. I've never.
Well, I've not used them that much.
Uh,
I have.
set off a smoke alarm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Haze machine.
Couple
You're
times.
mental.
And what happened? What happened?
Everyone had to evacuate.
Get out of here.
actually-
Mid gig.
Everyone evacuated.
Everyone evacuated the room.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did it once. I did
You
it once.
weren't-
I was doing a school prom, and they said, "Look, we've turned all the fire alarms off and everything. It's no problem. You can use smoke, use Haze. Yep, no problem." So I did, but they didn't turn all of the alarms off. And because it's being a school,
They've got extra.
everyone had to
Haze
evacuate.
did you put in?
It was a big room. It was
I
a smoke.
mean,
it
I
wasn't
feel
really
like
haze. It was
I've-
more smoke
I
actually
feel
back
like
then.
I've smashed it with Haze and it's never gone on.
I've used Haze like 3 times, and every time I've used it, I'm using less than 10%. So there's a little thing on there that has 1 to 100. That's
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
much
yeah.
output it's going to give.
Yeah.
And I'm in the regions of like 7 and 8.
Do you leave it constantly on?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I put something out there?
Do it.
Seeing as
Okay.
we're all like had a few drinks.
Yes, we've had a few.
One or
What do
two.
you guys think of a gig bar?
Gig bar.
What do we think of a gig bar?
I think we surpass it.
Is this what's coming? Is this your special thing?
Wow.
Wait, we're under the pressure.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think of a gig bar?
Honestly,
Yes.
no, thank you.
Okay.
For
You
me,
no, thank you.
well, for me, I've got a gig bar. I've got a
So,
gig
yeah.
bar too. I
Yep.
do a lot of kids' parties.
Yep.
Pop it up, bosh.
Easy.
So, go on.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No,
So,
there's nothing-
I thought you had more.
Can I get your take and then can I ask a couple of questions?
Yes.
I know I'm not the host. and all the rest of
Go
it.
for
I
it.
don't know.
You've moved into the hot seat right now.
Take it over.
So with the gig bar, I think what John said is the early place I think it lives, and that's for under 18, anything under 18. I think even at a party, maybe 30, if you've got lighting. If someone says you've got lighting, you've got gig bar, you've got lighting. At a wedding, I don't think it should be there. I think a gig bar at a wedding is not a great look, in my opinion. I think just the way
All
it
right.
looks, the way it sets up,
Quick question.
Go.
doesn't really work.
Do you know, like Uncle John and Auntie Jane at the wedding?
Yeah.
If they look at you and everything's lovely, your setup's lovely, and you've got a gig bar, do you think they care?
No.
No.
Do you think they look at it and go, "Oh, do you know what? 2-4, fantastic DJ. He's beaten my.
No.
So we're not going to
I
book him."
think
No.
do you think it's in the DJ's head?
um
Do you think it's DJ snobbery?
I wouldn't say it's
Well, it's
DJ
snobbery.
snobbery. I think everyone has their own style, and if that style is having 2 moving heads, some scanners, uplighters, whatever it is, that's you. That's the space that you're happy in.
Mm.
I think when I've had a gig bar previously, one of the early ones, I just didn't like the effects.
Okay.
I
What?
don't like the
output
dots.
of it.
I don't like the
I
dots.
don't like
I don't
it.
like the dots.
That's
Can
fair
For the-
play.
for the-
Can you turn them off? Because it's got labours.
Well, it
Derby,
depends if you.
Derby.
How are you going to control it?
You-
I've
well,
got a gig bar
ILS,
too.
right?
I've currently got a gig bar too.
Okay.
I use it for smaller gigs.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's one plug. You plug it in. I've
Yeah.
got it synced to the Wolf Mix if I want control, or
Yeah.
I could put it down to light. But I've also used the gig bar Move, and that has got 2 moving heads,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
are the equivalent of 2 intimidators.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
It's got so much lighting involved. It's about £1,000 to buy.
yeah.
So anyone that's using 2 like Wash FX or 2 moving heads, that doesn't even financially equate to that gig bar.
Mm-hmm.
But I fully understand where you're coming from, where you're like turning your nose up to the gig bar. I
I-
fully understand it. But I also think we're giving it a bad rep.
I don't. My thing when I look at people's posts, content. All right, we're
Yeah.
going back to the content chat slightly. I hate seeing at a wedding a first dance.
Yeah.
And somebody's got a gig bar on, and there's lights going all
Yeah,
over.
that's God.
And they and this
100%.
and for me, I will look at that and go, what are we doing?
Is that the gig bar or is that the operator?
Regardless
I think
of
it's a bit
it,
of both,
because it
to be
sounds
fair.
like you plug it in and it's just going to go.
Yeah.
And you're playing a nice, slow,
I think
romantic
that's
song for the
operator,
magic
though, that
the
you're not
couple,
controlling that.
and then
light.
there's constant washes and bloody movement of lights, and I just think it gives off the wrong impression of what we're trying to do.
The
I
move
get
right.
where you're coming from. I do. I fully understand that.
But then saying that, I'm with you on that one, mate. Exactly, 100%. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want all darting like. But then I did a wedding a couple of years ago, and the photographer come up to me after the first dance had started, and I've got like the nice pink lights and some blue up lights, and they're all washing around nicely, nice and slow. It's like, mate, put the lights on, put the lights on. This is their window. I said, it's also their first dance. He said, put the lights on. I want all the lights on. I said, look, you do your job, mate.
Is
Let me
that-
do-
is that
this
a
is the
photographer?
photographer.
He's
And I said-
making his life harder if you put.
Yes.
That's what,
No,
yeah.
it's-
Just thinking that's the
He told me to put on
photographers
light.
normally like
Yeah.
No.
when I'm doing a first dance, I'll either point the movers to them, or I will just leave my uplights on and turn the
You
movers
just want
off.
a nice neutral lighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want nothing darting around the room.
He wanted the dot.
He wanted everything on. And I was like,
That is
absolutely
absolutely
And I
crazy.
think that, and I think
shame that.
I would say that because I know there's some. If a photographer's
what?
listening, they're like,
you say that
you-
name and shame, but you know what?
No,
how
don't name
many
and shame.
photographers do you actually know the name of that you go to these venues?
Yeah.
How many of those photographers come up to you at the end and say, "Thanks ever so much. I'll see you later next time, maybe," or
Wait,
whatever?
how much is a photographer charging as well compared to a DJ?
now we're talking a different.
I think
We're opening
that's
up a rabbit hole. We are.
Now
that's
we're
a different
talking a different
conversation. I
conversation.
Can I
prefer to
just say,
keep
no, I don't want to keep it.
entertainment in the entertainment space.
right,
In that
photographers. Let's unpack it.
Come on, then,
Let's
come on,
unpack it.
come on, then.
Photographers, they are taking photos. They are creating something forever
Yeah.
that you can look back on.
Yeah.
Right. But as DJs, are we not we're creating the atmosphere on the night there and then. We are make or break. It's happening right now.
Yeah,
So if a photographer is charging £1,000 plus,
yeah.
but you get some DJs charging really low amounts,
Yeah.
is that fair?
I would say it is fair, and the reason I'd say that is because the photographer can charge what he wants, and the client decides whether that's what they want to pay, and the DJ can charge what he wants, and the client decides whether that's what they pay.
Fair.
I think the issue is DJs, and I've always said it. It's the DJs that are pricing themselves in a certain place and keeping themselves
Okay.
It's a
themselves in
race
that
to the
place.
bottom with some DJs.
race to the bottom,
In
100%.
some areas, it is a race to the bottom, and it's horrendous to watch.
It's horrendous to watch. And I always say to some of the DJs that are like, there might be someone listening to this now, like, oh, I'm being undercut. Like maybe they charge like 700 quid, but another DJ charging 500 quid, and they're losing bookings to the 500 quid DJ. And I'd be like, I don't look at it as that you're losing gigs. You're in two different markets.
Yeah.
If you're in a budget market where people are budgeting from 700 to 500, you've got two choices. You can have to stay at 700 and advertise to 700 clients.
Yeah.
Or you can carry on doing what you're doing and keep losing to the 500, or drop your price to 500. Me, as people see my consistency online, I'm targeting my
Do
client.
you know what? I think the goal is, and I think you hit it. I think everybody, all four of us hit. The goal is to be you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Produce what you produce.
Yeah.
Yep.
Show people on social media.
Yeah.
And if they want to book you, they will.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to book you,
They won't.
and if their primary concern is the price, they're not your client
Not
anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And I'm at that space now where it's like, here's the price. If you don't want it, you don't appreciate it. Right? We're not
we're not
Let's
aligned.
not have a fight about it.
Yeah.
We're not aligned.
I mean, it's such a large conversation point. This one is. It really is. I mean, I think we can come back to this one, but Matty, I mean, I've got to go to the little boy's room.
Go on then, John.
We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to this special edition of the Groove Junction, and here we are. So we were talking about a number of things. We talked about products. We've talked about how much TJ's drunk during this episode as well, which has been a fair few, but maybe we talked about that off air. But if it isn't clear from our viewing audience, we've all been having a few beverages this evening. But yeah, it is what it is. Guys, I'm going to ask the question. You talked about products and other bits that you're working alongside and other bits, and TJ touched on it just a minute ago, just before the break, around the gig bar. What is the worst bit of equipment you have ever purchased? Just go in there.
Go on, TJ.
TJ, you go first. He's going to say a gig bar.
No. Oh, the gig bar has got its place.
Okay.
I got to fight for the gig bar. I love the gig bar.
Mm.
Separately to that, I was sent a little laser, and I just feel it. You know,
Okay.
it wasn't very good. Let's say that. And when I'm sent equipment, I don't want to slag it off
Mhm.
online. I don't want to put content out and say, "Oh, this is rubbish," blah blah blah. So I just didn't post about it, and that's it. And I didn't buy this laser, but I just feel like that was the piece of equipment that has let the side down.
It's no good for you, that
Yeah,
piece.
it's no good.
Okay.
Little laser. What about you?
One
So
question I want quickly before I answer mine. Can I just quickly ask, what country was it from? If you don't mind, I know
The
you can say
laser.
by country.
China.
It was from China.
I had a feeling.
Okay.
I had a feeling. But,
Go on then.
Yeah, mine would be a pair of headphones actually.
From who?
Actually, American brand or no, they're Italian. They're an Italian brand, high
What are
quality.
they called?
We're gonna say that they're an
later
American
in the
brand.
show.
Listen, he didn't put you on the spot about where the laser was.
I just
from.
have a hunch.
Let's keep it bland. Let's keep it on a
I'm
level.
gonna say it's gonna be headphones.
Yep.
They are pretty expensive. They've got
Are they?
a Bluetooth feature. Yeah, actually, they're almost the same as Beats.
Okay.
And that's the Beats that they're over 300 quid. That you can get them for
Whoa.
about 300 quid. So they are expensive. And I wanted to, Sennheiser's HD 25s. A lot of DJs use them, and they're phenomenal headphones. But I'm a person. I always have to do things different. If everyone's doing something, I want to just do something different. That's just kind of what I am. And I've got my HD 25s. So then I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have something a bit different. And I went for these ones. So I saw a lot of the American DJs using them. So I thought, let me see people over the pond using them. Let's just have a look and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Got them. They're solidly built. A lot of metal on them, so it makes them quite heavy. And I'm a jump around DJ just like yourself to move around and whatnot. And I kept seeing them like they fall.
Really?
You put them on and they fall because of the components in them.
Yeah.
And another reason is that they got the cushion and they come in a great case. They come in a nice soft. The case is actually really, really, really good. But the things with a case and these speakers, headphones, I'm sweating when I'm moving so much. The sweat's getting into the sponge of the headphones, but I'm not noticing. I'm just locking them up, putting them in. My next gig. Do you know what I mean? So there was one gig when I opened them and I was like, I put them on and I'm DJing. I'm like, what's that smell, man? You know? Someone's fresh out the gym. They didn't even.
What's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on here? So I'm like, can smell like a little bit of, like, all right, but I'm carrying on, cracking on. And then I didn't think that another gig comes and I can like, oh, that smells back. And I'm like, it's a shit. Like what's going on? So one time I'm at home and I open them and then I get a whiff and I'm like, okay, the sponge is in there and the smell's concentrated. Luckily, one of the headphones went, so one of the sound went on one. I was like, brilliant, warranty. So I come to the company and I was like, oh yeah. Which
And they opened it and went.
opened it. I said, Jesus Christ, what's going on in the gym? He said, but saying that, they in their advertising, there was that part of use them in the gym, Bluetooth, put your phone elsewhere, crack on with your workout.
Shame.
So we're not
No, we're not doing that. It's not that.
gonna
It's
do
not that type of podcast.
But, that is one of my purchases where I'm like, oh man. And to be fair, for me, it was a learning curve because when they sent back the new pair for the warranty, I don't use them for DJing now, so I use them for other purposes.
What do you use them for?
I use them for my.
The kids use them.
No, the kids don't use that. I want to get them a friend. They are heavy. If they're dropped in his toe, he'd feel it. I use them for my podcast. So
Check
if you
out
look at my
247's
247's new podcast, the headphones I've got in there, which are great for that. They're great. They're great. They look good. Rose gold metal, like they look. So yeah, that's my podcast.
Nice. Matty, worst bit of equipment you ever bought?
I didn't get on well with the Equinox barrel roller seat. I named and shamed. But that's me getting on with them. I looked at them when I first saw them and went, oh yeah, I like that. I'm gonna get them. Did I do enough research? And maybe this is something that anyone buying equipment needs to do. They need to look at reviews that these guys are doing.
Yeah.
But you've also got to do your homework on it. And I
Yeah.
didn't. I saw it and went, do you know what? That would be a great addition.
What didn't you
And
like
didn't really
about the
think about it.
Equinox
No,
barrel?
I want to say, what is it that you saw? Because you've done the research, Tom. Maybe not intensely.
know-
but what is it when you use them you didn't like them?
And this is what comes back we talked about in the first half. Haze.
Okay.
Haze. If you haven't got haze with it,
There is a lot of
Gotcha.
lights that if you haven't got haze are pointless.
Yeah.
You might as well just have a wash light. Because haze brings, if you've got any sort of like laser or anything that chucks out beams,
Yeah.
you have to have haze.
You need
Otherwise
heads
it's
to make it
pointless.
move. Yeah. That's why I use my moving heads, or wash moving heads. And that's the reason why, because I don't
You
use heads.
only use moving heads.
Well, yeah, I only
It
just
looks
wash moving
great.
heads. And
And
it just
even if you
splashes.
don't- even if you don't have haze, visually,
It's doing
It
a
looks
lot.
good.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I know a lot of DJs use spots. A lot, especially the American DJs, and quite a lot of DJs over here use moving spot. But I've always been like, nah, I think the wash creates a bit more of a better effect. It colors, like it can go narrow and it can go wide.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, man, with the haze.
John.
Wireless microphones for me. I've had a number of different wireless microphones, and yeah, you're spending £200-400 on a wireless mic, and being more in the children's sort of area, I'm out on the dance floor with them. I mean, I've had microphones that 10 foot away from the DJ stand. That's it. He drops out.
I can't
There's
believe
no-
it, John. 300 quid. That's a.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I'm
But this
not
is
gonna name and
premium,
shame
man.
that,
This isn't low
but,
level.
You know, you're very active. Like we all are. We're all active. But I mean, with the kids stuff, you know, when you're doing like the song 500 miles and you're on the other side of the hall and you're trying to talk to the kids, you've got nothing there. It's no good to me. You know, so I've wasted a lot of money on wireless microphones. So that's my big.
What have you done with them? Have you kind of like just kept them, or what would you like if with a wasted product? What have you done? Luckily,
Well,
I've done a warranty thing. I've used mine in a different way. So what
So-
ideas have you got for people that have
me, no, yeah, they're probably still in the lockup somewhere.
Really?
I just don't use them. Yeah, don't use them. It might be good, like for you know, if I know I'm not going to move from that spot,
Yeah.
you know. So, not that I'm ever going to go down the karaoke route, but
Maybe for
I've
someone
got
like
some
that.
spares.
Okay.
You know, I
Okay.
always carry 2 microphones spare, 1 wireless microphone spare, plus 2
Plug.
2
Nice.
mics spare. I always carry them spare. So, yeah, I'm terrible for not. If I've had a piece of equipment for a certain amount of time, and I don't send them back.
Mhm.
No.
Hey, should we do DJ hack for equipment?
Go on then.
I got a couple.
Go for it.
Go on.
Give me one.
The first one is the X-Vive U3 microphone dongles.
Okay.
So this will turn any wired mic
Into a wireless.
mic. The amount of times I've used that, I always keep it charged,
Mhm.
leave it in my equipment. The amount of times someone said to me, "You got wireless mic," and I haven't. I've got these dongles. I just plug it into a wired mic, plug it in. But it's not about that. It's got a line function, so you can plug it into your back of your decks and plug it into a speaker,
Nice.
and it's going to act
Okay.
with low latency, very low latency. It's
Mhm.
going to act like an XLR cable.
That sounds like.
That is a great. It's not cheap. A couple of £100.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got our first.
It's a Groove Junction goodie.
Hey, after half time, we've done it.
Wow.
Sure.
It's taken a
Take it
while
out
to
for
get
now.
to it, but there's reasons
fine.
why it's taken a while.
So, you've done a video on that, haven't you?
Yeah, I did a video. Like a
Okay,
year
check
or
that out
so
on
ago.
TJ's social media platform.
Second hack.
Oh,
Second,
one. Oh, hang on.
we're throwing goodies out left, right, and centre. Well,
The gravity clips that you clip to
Okay.
your speaker stand
yeah,
Yeah.
or your lighting stand.
poles, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like what, £3.50 for 2. I've got many like just lying around. You clip them to any stand you want, and it's gonna ensure that your leads are not showing. They run down the stand nice and clean. Very, very good hack, and that will save you taping and then untaping.
Oh, yeah.
to save you time.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Taping is the.
I use bungees, to be fair, like little bungee, cord, like you know, like you.
Yeah.
Like you get on the like a Nike or a tent
Like a,
with a
What's
ball
your-
on it.
What?
What's
you
your
just-
cable management?
my cable management is black tape. So I'm not gonna lie. I've had the gravities.
Mm.
Lost them. I used to leave them on pole.
Snap them.
I left them on the pole because I was like, oh, they can stay on the pole.
Yeah.
Get to a gig, there was one at the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle. I get to a gig, oh, there's one at the top, one at the bottom.
So
Get
what?
to another
do you
gig, there's
do you,
one.
Do you
to
tape?
another
You
gig,
tape
there's
on the floor.
Yeah.
Granted.
Yeah.
Do you tape up your speaker poles?
I do the same thing, but with the black electrical tape. So I do the one,
Electrical.
two.
I'll send you a link to my little bungee ropes. You'll like them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got
Okay.
some, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because when I flick a bind ropes in my head, I secure that in my van. I secure
No.
No. These are tiny,
Are they
circular,
that? Okay.
with a large.
Oh, he sent
Got
me
a
a
ball
link
on
as
you.
well.
Yeah, I'll send
Yeah.
you the link.
That's
Black,
a
they're black,
Groove
right?
Junction
Black.
goodie, baby.
You can have black or white. I've got white ones for the white setup, and I've got black ones for the black.
Yeah.
Some of those.
No, honestly,
yeah,
they're-
because with
they're
the
decent.
tape, I've just been like, I've done the thing, but I lost them. But my black.
Tape. Oh wait, tape has got its place. We all slagged the tape off.
Nah, the electrical tape looks slick. Like
Ta-
I've got black
electrical
and
tape,
white.
and even
white
black and
setup.
nasty. I've got a roll of black and nasty in my like cables box
Mhm.
because sometimes you just need to tape the wires down on
Yeah,
the floor.
yeah.
And it's got its place, and
Yeah.
I probably use it more often than I would like to admit to, because it's easy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
done.
So,
It's got its
but
tape.
you say you got white tape. Have you got white cables?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with my,
Because that's
white
another
setup,
thing. White
there's no
tape. if You
point.
got
Yeah,
black cables.
there's no point. Like, I'm very, as most of us DJs, I'm quite anal with some of that stuff.
I've got-
I look at it and I'm like, I don't like that. And,
No.
and once again, the clients don't care. You know.
No,
Have you got white speakers, have you?
Yes, got white speakers and black speakers.
So white speakers.
So why'd you
white
give me
speakers
grief?
is a
Why'd
thing.
you give
White
me grief
speakers
when I
is
said
a
I got
thing.
white?
I never gave you grief. I just asked you, do you have the same speaker for
Oh,
two different
better
setups?
then.
Because I've got an LD and I've got an EV.
Might have been the drunk man here.
Yeah. So I've got. I got white speakers.
You got white speakers.
I got white speakers.
I haven't got white speakers.
Mhm.
I've never had white speakers, but I understand where they live, and I appreciate white speakers. But looking on social media recently, white speakers has been a subject of controversy
Mhm.
because some people are saying that white speakers potentially are not needed or not required.
I think
What's your take on
I
it?
think for me, the reason I purchased the white is one for the wedding, and also somebody came to me that was paying good money for a corporate event and said, "Have you got white speakers?" That pretty much paid for the majority of the white.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
from a corporate side of things. So I went, "All right, great, I've
about
got white speakers now."
People that
28.
get married, sometimes people want a full white setup.
Yeah,
Clients do want.
They do. They do.
and I have that full white set for that reason, and I think it looks slick
It
and it
pays
looks
for
smart.
itself.
It
If
does
you're
pay for
in-
itself.
If you're in the high end budget,
It does pay for
it
itself.
can pay for itself.
T4, do you give your customers a choice whether they want a black setup or a white?
So with my two different setups, the white setup is for the biggest type parties. I've got a small setup and I've got just my standard setup and a smaller rig. My smaller rig is black, and that's the one I would use for either smaller style weddings and birthdays. And
So
I've
do you give them a choice?
well, they can choose the smaller one, but if they're having a big event, if they've got 120 people, I wouldn't
Wouldn't use
advise to get.
No.
Because coming from someone that's got a Humpter and a Cosmo
Yeah.
pod and multiple different lighting options, so I found myself certainly at the back end of last wedding season giving people the option, and I say
Does-
during the wedding's pre-event meeting,
Yeah,
have a look at my Instagram. Is there anything that catches your eye? Do you want anything? And there's a very small amount of people that say, yeah, we want the white DJ stand or we want the video booth, whatever. But more often than not, people are just like, oh, whatever you think, something rustic or whatever.
yeah. I think that comes down to our professionalism of knowing what's right for them as a client when
Yeah.
we're doing those meetings and going, how is your event being looked at? What are you creating for it? And we've got in our back of mind, right? Do I take the Combi? Do I take the Mark II? Do I take the Humpter? Do I take? And then you can work out the Cosmopod. You can work out what you're going to take
Mhm.
and fit their thing. I think what me and John have done is that we went in just after Christmas,
Yeah.
went into a wedding venue, set all of our stuff up, and did like promo shoot
Nice.
of everything in place.
Brilliant.
And then we direct. So when people come to me, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, via my CRM, and going, can we book you for a wedding? Yeah, what would you like? Oh, that sounds interesting. What? And I then will have a look at this link, and then it sends them to that video of this is the setup, and there's the selfie pod.
You did a
This is
full-on
the se-
professional photo shoot, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
That from some, on the outside looking in, I looked at that and I thought, fair play. I need to do that.
Yeah,
A
I've done.
full-on professional photographer.
but yeah, why
in a
not?
like that is commendable.
It's the same thing that when we was talking about, like, my mind always says ROI. So that photo shoot wasn't cheap.
No,
It
but
was not cheap at all. And but the output, what I've got from it, for my website, for some of the professional stuff that I'm doing. So same with the packages that you're talking about. I never done a video, but I say this is setup one, this is setup, this is this, this is the, and they can see proper.
the video
Everything.
is actually them going, I can see what I'm getting,
Yeah.
and I've had confirmed bookings from that than
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done by going,
If you'd
I'll
never
just
had
look
that.
at my social media. I directed them to exactly what they wanted to look at.
Mhm.
They've seen it and gone, yeah, we're
We'll have
booking you.
this.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the benefit. Let's talk about CRMs then.
Mm-hmm.
So I know for a fact that we are all using Studio Ninja, which is an Australian company, which is mainly focused for photographers, but a number of DJs have jumped on to Studio Ninja. There is a lot more CRMs that are coming in play because there wasn't anything that fits the market.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see the direction of travel for CRMs?
I think with Studio Ninja, when I first started using it, like, it is what I like about it is that it's quite easy to use.
Yeah.
They've got an app, so once you set things up at home on a desktop, you can then do one button press to get back to clients and stuff. It saved me so much time
Yeah, I
when
agree.
I was doing Google Docs. So any DJ, especially if you're trying to get more bookings and things like nature. And if you listen and follow some of us and the things that we say, the idea is that hopefully you should be getting more bookings. So once that happens, a CRM I think is like gonna help you drop the ball in that sense. But with Studio Ninja, after using it for about 2 years now, I'm starting to get to a place where there's some things that I want that they don't offer.
I agree.
And maybe
I totally
that's
agree.
because it's for photographers. For instance, there's no, as a DJ, we need music input. And I use another software called Vibo. Vibo's great in sending that to the clients. And then the client, when it comes to the CRM, takes care of the invoicing and all of that stuff. But when it comes to more the fun stuff like planning, the timings and the music and first dance and, what tunes you want, Vibo does that. Slick app, super slick, Spotify, Amazon, Deezer, whatever, you put your songs in there, you can search songs. It's a great platform, but it's very expensive. At the moment, it's $100 a month, which works out to about £80 a month, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
When I look at some of my costs and I think to myself, why not that
It's going
platform?
up as well.
Yeah, it's got, well, this is what I've been hearing today, and I can't believe it. It's going up
Doubling.
to $190, which I think is just
Crazy.
Wow.
I think that's insane for what it does. I would say.
So for anyone that's watching or listening to the podcast, the benefits for CRMs from your point of view, for both your business wise,
I was introduced to Studio Ninja last year
you were.
at the Pro Mobile conference by 247 Cell,
Mhm.
and it has completely changed the way.
100, yeah,
It's literally saved me so much time.
yeah.
I couldn't be without a CRM now.
I agree.
It's so good. I mean, I'm not a multi-op. I'm just myself. It saves me so much time. The pre-filled out emails, the workflows.
Mhm.
I mean, I could sit here for an hour and tell
And just
you
talk about
how
Plus
good it
stuff.
is,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the piece of software that we all use sitting on the panel is not designed for.
Yeah.
So if I was to,
It's not, but we've
honestly,
adapted it to work for us.
Yeah, we've made it work.
yeah, but if I was to turn around to a new DJ now and say, and I was to recommend something, would I recommend Studio Ninja, knowing what I know about what's out there?
Now.
Mhm.
Maybe not.
And who are you recommending now?
Planning Beats.
Planning Beats is one that's definitely come on my radar recently with some of their promotions. So from the looks of
Sell it to me.
with Planning Beats, from the looks of it, like I've just told you, with Studio Ninja and great CRM, but I feel like I'm getting to the max of what it can do.
Yeah.
And then we've got Vibo. Vibo is a fantastic managing tool.
Too much money now.
It's too much money currently,
Yeah.
and if it's going up, then I'm going to have to say no myself, because if that is the case, that will become my most expensive monthly outgoing. And
I've
I
not got
for
Vibo.
software,
Mate, I've not got Vibo.
Yeah.
You've talked to me about Vibo a lot, and like offline, and I really appreciate, what he's saying,
yeah,
but it's too much money for
Yeah.
me.
too much money,
right?
yeah.
Planning Beats plus Studio Ninja. can
Yes,
at a fraction of the
at
price.
a fraction.
And I'm just looking at Planning Beats like, I've invested all this time into Studio Ninja. Have I got it in me to transfer all that over to Planning Beats?
But this is
I'm
another
looking
thing.
at it like, that has got everything I need.
This is another thing though that I've heard, even talking to some DJs today, that Planning Beats might have an offering where you can pay. I think it's a third company that can help you do the switch. So for me, the major problem for me is that if Vibo is going up to almost double price, I've got 2.5 years of bookings in there until 2027.
Yeah.
So I'm fraggled. I'm looking at, and what let's say what.
But if you don't make the change as soon as you possibly can, that could be 3 years.
That could be even
that
more.
could be 4
Yeah.
years.
So if this
I
first
didn't think of it like that, actually. The way
Yeah.
you just put that.
do you know what I mean? So
It's a case of, do you go now or you don't?
Yeah.
Planning Beats offer what they say, and the market at the moment seems to be like, if this is going to do what it's going to do, then this is going to for me, it's going to revolutionize what I'm currently doing. It's going to cut down my
Agree.
costs. It's a UK based thing as well, similar to what we was hearing today about, giving back to some of your UK people. Vibo is not UK based.
Studio Ninja's not.
UK based. So what if we could give back to our own and help out
Yeah.
UK support us, similar to stuff that we've been listening to today and some of those things. So if it does what it says it's going to do, I'm 100% moving. It's
Agreed.
got Vibo style features. It's got a CRM that's capable. And there's some things, I don't know about you guys, but there's some things on Studio Ninja I've been saying to them that they need to change. When I get a booking, it comes to my email.
Yep.
If my email, if I don't hear that email,
Yep.
there's no red dot on that I need to know
Uh,
Do you
when
know what as
someone's
well?
waiting
Though?
there.
Do you know what as well? Though Studio Ninja, it's an Australian company. It's not based DJs. I feel like if you've got gripes with and you take it up with them, it'll almost be lost because we.
Well, we're DJs.
Whereas
So
not-
Planet
they're
a
Beats, it's
DJ's
like
asking for
a
something you're
UK.
not even for us.
Planet
So
Beats are a UK
Yeah, that's why I
DJ
like-
company.
yeah.
You go to them and go,
they
I
probably
saw
get on quick,
under.
quick.
I know that they can.
Yeah.
check it.
Yeah.
I agree. And once again, going to what you're saying, TJ, it's for DJs.
Yep.
So apparently, from what I understand, the guy that's created it, he's a DJ himself, so
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
gets it. Do you know what I mean? If I'm talking to Chris from Studio Ninja, he doesn't get DJing. He doesn't. He's like,
No.
oh,
No, he's
I'm a
photographer.
photographer.
I
so
think
what you're
the
saying sounds
biggest the
great,
biggest
but-
sell point for me for going into the Studio Ninja was the speeding up process.
Yes, 100%.
It was there, and the application itself is so easy to use.
Yes, yes.
You know, and
The
I think,
automation made things.
and that's
The
the best,
automation
Great.
is critical.
and that's totally critical. If Planning Beats has got that,
Mm.
I'm gonna jump.
I'm gonna jump, and I'm looking at that first because my main problem is like what TJ said about, there's so much information on my current CRM and my Vibe. I'm like, damn, how am I gonna migrate? That's gonna be crazy. Migrating from my old system on Google Docs to Studio Ninja was a task in itself.
Yeah.
And it's introducing it to clients.
Yeah.
Like my clients have got a client portal studio.
Yeah.
It's like
Mm.
emailing, by the way. I mean, I guess it's a little thing, but it's a nose. But it's like, do we jump?
Do you run them both parallel until
We
it
run
all
them both
goes?
More money, though,
I
isn't
just don't. I don't know. I've got to look into it. I think this is probably future episodes and future conversations
Yeah,
we're going to have in the
I think
Groove
so.
Junction around this.
I think. Do you know what? I think if we're all talking about it, I think that's probably the way we.
Do you know what? I'm going to get Mr. Planning Beats himself and get him on the podcast, and
Okay,
we're
makes
talking
sense.
through it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, whilst
Yeah.
we're talking about it. Before we finish today, then, I want to ask the question: if you're coming into this industry for the first time as a DJ, give me one thing you need to concentrate on, TJ.
If you're coming in and you're fresh and
You're
you've got
fresh out of the box.
I think you should shadow someone with some experience. I think you should reach out
That's a great one.
to a DJ that's already killing it and say, "Can I help you? Can I carry your speakers? Can I take requests for you?"
Yeah.
I think you should go along with them as their helping hand for free and learn the trade, because there's no DJ college, there's no
Yeah.
A level in DJing.
Yeah.
That is where you're really going to learn the craft
Yeah.
of DJing and the social interaction, everything that is unspoken about DJing.
Yeah.
You're going to learn it from somebody else.
Lovely. Yeah.
Great advice.
tip. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely.
2, 4.
Mine will be something that you've probably heard from me a lot of the time, and it's going to be consistency of your content. And that's because, like, when it comes to like marketing yourself, you can find yourself spending quite a lot of money on, getting your, whether it's Google ads, Instagram ad, Facebook Meta, Hitch, Bradbook, all these different ways of getting our brands out there. But if you can home in a bit on your social media, it can save you a lot in the long run on how much you spend on marketing. Because you can, put out some of your stuff, if you've got like a half decent following or you're growing, let's say like 3 to 4 times a week, what that could do to you over the months and weeks can save you a lot of money, and it will get you out there. It will get people will start to see that you are available and you do this, and the consistency will show people that you're serious.
Yeah.
Some people will post a couple of high-end videos and it's quite sparse, but then when clients go to it, they love what they see, but the consistency gives them doubt. It makes them think like, oh, maybe he does lots of other stuff, and I kind of want someone who's a bit more, like that does this. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think if you can, be quite consistent with social media, putting out quality content as well. You don't just want to chuck up anything on there. You want to kind of put out things that are going to resonate with the people that you're trying to book. So, if you want high-end clients, you want to put out stuff that the high-end clients want to see. Or for me, it will be like, I want to put out the things that my clients want to see, and my clients want to see lots of energy, great dance floors. Like, I always ask my clients about what's the most important part of the day for you. And this is when I know I'm talking to my client.
Go on.
If they say to me, what's the most important part of the day to me? And they go, oh man, we really can't wait for the food. My mind's like, I'm not for you. You need to go to a Michelin star. If they say, the most important part, and I say away from the ceremony, because the ceremony is that's the reason we're here.
Yeah.
So that can't get into the conversation. But other than that, what's the most important part of the day? And what I love is when I know I've got my client, and Instagram does that really well so far. Like in the last, I'll say 9 months, it only gives me, when you use Facebook and all those marketing and you're putting money into your ads, it will just get you anybody. And then sometimes you're getting people and you're like, this isn't really my client. But Instagram, only get me my dream clients, nothing else. Because they see me, they're like, I resonate with you. I love the way you talk. I love
They
they love
reach out because
everything.
They're already
They're already
committed.
sold.
Yeah.
They're already sold. All
Yeah.
they want to know is availability and price.
Yeah.
That's all they want to know.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people have a price and they see what they want, and that price can change.
Yeah.
And then when they come, you're available, price now. Price, oh, it's a bit more than we wanted. Maybe let's talk.
Yeah,
Scrap
but
the
you know what?
flowers,
Like,
scrap maybe this, or, make some changes because like once again, going back to that question, what's the most important part of the day for you? If they say the evening is the most important, then I say you're in the right place.
people
because
are
I'm
booking
gonna-
2 years down the line.
Yeah.
So your price, even if that's 500 quid outside their budget, 2 years down the
It's
line.
2 years down the line. They can
Yeah,
pen
yeah.
plan, they can Uncle Steve, hey Jeff, like to something that we really want. This is what it is. And so yeah, I that's why I would say consistency with the content, because
Love that.
it really helps with getting with me. At the moment, I only get target audience, only get my clients.
Love it.
The way I vibe with them on the calls, I now love my calls. Some of them I used to be there and I'd be like, yeah, and at the end I'm like, even my missus can hear the call, she's like, oh, that's
not gonna work.
and I'm like, I don't know, like some obviously, in hustle stage, you'll take the work and I'll do some of the gigs, and I'll be, playing rock and some things that I don't really understand. But now on my social media, I only put out the music that I love and I understand, and my clients see that and they're like, you play everything we love, and I'm like, it's done.
That's it.
Well,
It's
We're meant to be.
You're gonna have
we're
a
meant
great
to
night.
be.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a great night. Yeah,
You're gonna
yeah,
have a
yeah.
great night.
And they know it, and then they say, when they book my content, because once again the consistency continues. I'm like, I've heard this a few times. I'm one of their only suppliers that they get excited because they're like, I just keep seeing you. Keep seeing you. To the point, oh my God, my wedding's in 18 months,
Yeah.
15 months, 12 months, 8 months, 9 months, 7 months.
That's it. man.
Well, you actually said, didn't you? If you can't afford me, unfollow me.
Yes. No,
I-
did I say
no,
that?
it was
No, I don't
something
think I
around
Whoa.
I don't think that's a bit bad.
No, that okay, maybe not like that. But you were like, if I'm unavailable on your date or whatever,
Oh, yes, I did say that.
you should unfollow me.
You should unfollow
you're
me because I'm going to
see
keep.
incredible
If you,
life.
yes, I did say that. If you want to book me and I'm not available, unfollow me. No,
Yeah,
because I would
You're
not
gonna-
want
and that's
to
gonna
see
hate
true.
it.
something that I would want,
Yeah.
and then he
You
keeps
can't have-
popping up. Keeps. and
That's
it's
why I
like,
don't
look,
follow Ferrari.
Yeah, I don't follow Lamborghini,
Don't-
Ferrari, Rolls Royce. I don't follow
Exactly.
those cars. So when I'm in that budget, I'll start following those
Yeah.
accounts.
Gents, I massively appreciate it.
Yeah,
This
wicked,
is
guys.
really unusual for us to be in the same building, same room. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on this week's
100%.
podcast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you've got any comments about this episode, please drop in there. We'd love to hear them. Funky T and DJ 247. But thanks for joining. We will see you out same time, same place next week for another Groove Junction. See you later, everyone.
Cheers.
Be safe, be lucky.